Well, hi YouTube. This is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam, and I just finished up my new fall tutorial. We will get it edited and uploaded just as quick as we can. I know you're gonna love it. Not I think, but I know you're gonna love it. And so while I was so glad to get it done, I thought, you know what? I keep procrastinating about doing this little embellishment tutorial. So I thought, let me see if I can just get one done and, just do a few. I don't have to do everything, just do a few, just so to get you started and let you know how simple and how easy and how quick some of these things are. I'm all about quick and easy, remember? Okay, let's see. I have two types here. I won't go back over a rose or a flower. You can find these on any site on the net. You can just find a rose or some type of flowers. In fact, Shiru knitting is just absolutely gorgeous if you have the time. You know, if you have the time and you want to put in the work. I'm more about, oh my gosh, I'm going somewhere. I need something in about an hour. I need something in just a few minutes. I'm gonna meet someone for lunch, and I need something real quick, just a little something cute to put on my new sweater from Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. So I won't go back into the rose or anything like this. But here's one, and all I did, I added my new little things I'm getting into. These charms. I was just trying to think of a way to use up all this stuff I've been buying, and it's that time of year. Out of control. But anyway, so that was real pretty. I thought, I don't know how it shows up on the camera, but that goes with the vest you're going to get in the next, in the tutorial. All right. But just let you see some of the things I picked up. These are all on sale. I got this out of the sale bins for a couple of dollars, $1.99, I think, at Joann's. I've got some beautiful, lot of things were marked 40 and 50% at Michael's. Some of these were like $1 and something. And I thought, well, I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but, it's nice to have things already on hand. And plus, I have a huge selection of buttons, so I don't have to worry about buttons. So let me tell you what you're gonna need, and then I'll show you what we're gonna do. First of all, as on this first selection here, you will need some of this Sashay or any yarn, Starbella, Sashay, any of this yarn. I tried so hard to get into those scarves, like my friend Karen, who knitted I don't know how many. I don't have the patience, I guess, anymore. I don't know why I can't get into those scarves. Oh, I love when I see people, they're wearing them around at the mall, and they're so proud that they finished them, and they look so pretty. But it's just not my thing, so. But I still like buying the yarn. I just had to figure out something else to do with it. And so that's Starbella, and then here's, oops, hit the camera, sorry. Here is a Sashay. So it doesn't matter, just any brand is fine. That's where we're going to start, and I'm going to show you how I just made these simple. Like I say, when I say simple and quick, that's exactly what I mean. Like I say, if you want something really that you want to really spend time on or whatever, Shiru knitting is absolutely stunning. Some of the beautiful things she has at her site. But just quickies. Isn't that pretty? All of these are those either a button, or they have these charms, or they have, look, just anything that glitters. That's all I look for. I don't know what they are. Like I say, I try to get into a little of the beading things, but it's just not me. So, but I thought, well, it wouldn't hurt to accent a little bit. Now, this is the second group. This group, we'd actually do, we'd knit a I-cord. These are my little I-cord medallions. I don't know what else to call them. Sunburst, starburst, medallions, or swirl, my little swirl pins. But those, I'll do those later, because you have to be able to knit an I-cord. but at least you can see what I have in mind for this cute tutorial. So let's get started with Jay's simple and easy embellishments. All right, our first one we will work with some sachet. I simply have red heart, a ball of red heart sachet. It's the metallic and it's called golden, and it's real pretty and sparkly, and I think you're gonna like this. So you just pull off you know, maybe a couple of at least a yard, maybe a little more of this sachet. And the next thing you will need a pair of scissors. You will need a yarn needle already threaded with some yarn as close to the sachet color you picked out. I've just picked a little beige here. It will be fine. You won't really see this, but you try to get a color as close to the sachet. And you're going to need a center for our project. And look at that. Isn't that pretty? This is one of those bracelet charms. I think you make bracelets with it, but I'm going to try to make it work on this. I just think this is really nice. So there's my center. I have my scissors and I have my sachet. All right, so what we're going to do real quick, first thing I want to do, I'm going to take one end, since we're not knitting or crocheting, and I'm just going to go ahead and tie myself a knot. Just take care of that end so I don't have to worry about it. Just tie a knot. Take my scissors and just trim it close to the knot. One side done. All right, we'll do the other side when we get to it. Now, since I'm working on this towel, it's a lot easier to spread this out. See, this is a part that I just... So you want to just spread it out, just like if you were going to you know, if you were going to make the scarf. You want to spread it out so you can see it. Can you see that? Oh, it snags too. Okay, take the knot in and just fold it inside like that. Now pick up your needle and just begin to just take a couple of stitches. Leave a long tail about 2 or 3 inches. See this? Just leave a long tail, then go ahead and back stitch it. Go right back. That locks it in place. Try not to get the lacy part, the net part. Okay, I've got a nice long tail. And now I just begin to do a little gather stitch. And I'm right here at the very top. I'm right along this edge, not so much the net part. And you're just going to count. Let's see if I can, I don't know if I can lay it down. We'll zoom in. We get a chance. Okay, so what we'll do is just do, I call it like Fiona's running stitch, Jennings 644. Of course, I'm not good like Fiona. She's been doing it. I'm just doing this little sample here. Okay, you don't have to try to gather it yet. Continue to lay it and spread it apart, little by little. I'm telling you, I don't see how in the world you do it with fingernails. Okay, and I just keep doing a nice running stitch, just in and out, nothing fancy. You will not see this. All you're doing is gathering this up. Just, you don't even, just eyeball it. You don't even have to measure anything. Just with your needle, up and down, up and down, up and down. And stop, go slow when you pull it so that you won't catch the net part of it. Can you see that? Okay, here we go. Like I say, if you had to go to lunch somewhere and you just needed something real quick, up and down. So I started buying this sachet. Well, you know, when it came out, I mean, it got really, you know, expensive, and oh, everyone was doing it. It's all on the net. Now they can't give it away. Joanne keeps it in their clearance bin, and every time I go, it's still full. Nobody, I guess people have just worn themselves out making those scarves. They are beautiful. Now, I'm not trying to take away from that. They're beautiful. In fact, I only have one, And my friend Brenda made that one for me. I got it at my birthday party. And so it's a real pretty color. In fact, it's fall color. It's brown and beige, and I'll have to pull that out. So up and down, just doing that little running stitch. I'm not trying to be fancy. I'm just at the very top. Well, I'm calling it the top. I think if you were knitting it would be the bottom, but I'm just going along this little track. You can see it looks like a little railroad track. It's the only thing I can think. And I'm just up and down with my needle. And you want to continue to do this. So you need, you can go a yard. You might even go a yard and a half. Well, what else you going to do with this yarn? You may as well try to. That's the whole point of it. And there's quite a bit on here. I'm surprised there's so much. So you just sew. You can make a pin for everybody in your office. Up and down, up and down. And then stop and slightly pull very slow. And what we're going to do, you'll see it'll make a circle soon. I will continue on. You have to stop every once in a while, and you got to spread it out. This is the part that, this is why I just couldn't knit it. This is one thing that beat me. I'd rather knit a whole sweater. Okay, here we go. Up and down, just in and out. Just doing a little running stitch together. I'm not even trying to be careful. I'm just gathering it up. You won't see this. But of course, the more you do, the more, the more ruffles it's going to have, just like the scarf. But we're just doing something a lot quicker and a lot easier. And you don't even really have to sew, as long as you can thread your yarn needle. Stop. Okay. You got to lay it out again. This gold is pretty. Oh man, look how pretty that is. Okay, let's go just a little bit more and then I'll show you. You just want to be able to have enough to make a nice circle. In fact, I see I'm coming up to a nice circle, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and measure out a length over here, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it. And then the first thing I want to do is, of course, tie a knot on this end. Then I don't have to worry about trying to hide the ends and all of that. I just tie a knot, take my scissors, trim close to the knot, without the knot coming loose, of course. Okay, now I got to continue on to the knot. So at least I see where I'm going. All right, where's my needle? Here we go. And we continue together. I hope this is showing up. Just up and down, just gather a few along that little railroad track edge. Pull slowly so that you don't get into the ruffle. Now as I get near the knot, I'm just going to fold the knot in just like I started so that I can catch it as I come up and down, and then just grab some of that knot so it stays in place. Go all the way to the end. Now slowly pull. Now you remember that long tail? Okay. Find that tail, and you're going to find that on the back. Then the side that still has the needle, what we just worked on, we're going to pull it tight. Pull both tails tight, just like this. Now, go ahead and tie yourself a nice, try not to cut anything yet. Just kind of tie a nice knot to secure those two ends. kind of turn it and make sure you don't have any of the ruffles before you tie it off. Just kind of open the ruffles out. We hadn't really pulled it yet. All right. And I see that I could have gone a little more, but I want to get this video done. Okay, and of course, tie it again till you have a nice secure connection. All right, now don't cut anything yet. That's the back where these tails are. So now that makes this the front. Now we can start pulling the ruffles out. See, they really haven't been pulled out yet. So now you can go around and just loosen up this neck part. Now you see how large it's, see how it's growing? See? And I could have gone a lot bigger. And you can do as much as you want. Okay, so now I've decided what I want for the center. You can have a large, nice button. You could have some shimmer, which I found this to go in the center of mine. See that? Okay, so now we got to figure out a way to attach. The only thing, this was meant for a bracelet. So my needle is not going to go in these little holes. You see that? Now, if I had a shank button, like some of these, I could put, you know, I could just run it through there. Of course, you're going to always, you know, see how you can connect before you get something, unless you're going to just try to hot glue it on. But I want to see. So what you can do, I'm not a bead person, but I found these. This little thin bead wire. You can barely see it. See, well, it will go through these holes because that's what it's made for. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to turn it on the back so I can see the two tails. That's how you know you're on the back side. For right now, take your yarn needle out. Lay it over there. Well, I'm sorry. Take your yarn needle before you take it out and run it through. Run the yarn through this needle, that little eye. Okay, now lay the yarn needle over there. Now I have my yarn on this wire. All right, so I need to go back up through the center. Just take the wire up through the center. Or you could have done that before you took the needle off, but as long as you go back up through the center. Now I'm on the front. And I'm going to take this wire and start pulling this yarn through. It's going to take a little effort through. There are 4 little connections on this particular one, so I think I'll cross it like you do, you know, like crisscross. Maybe instead of going just straight around, I think I'll cross one this way and then reach up and bring one back down this direction. You may have to pull it. You're going to have to manipulate it to get it through there. Now you see why I'm not a bead person. You see how something like this would, like, oh man. It will go, but it does take a little effort because this is meant to be a bracelet, not what I'm using it for. But I am determined. Woo! There it goes. And I didn't even stop the camera. I'm just going to let it roll. You see that I'm having a hard time, but I'm telling you, it's worth it. Then there's one more. So let's see, can I get this one through? I'm just going to yank it here. Here we go. Yay! Okay. All I need to do is get it through. Then I'm going to center my medallion right in the center. And of course I'm going to take my yarn and go back. Now I can take this off. In fact, you can just cut some of that off just to get that needle out of the way. And now I'm going to thread back on my yarn needle because I've got the little center on, but I need to go back to my yarn needle. Oh gosh. Oh, I'm telling you, I think people that bead are just wonderful. Okay, pull it down, put your piece in place, and you will have to flip it over, and you will have to tuck it in. You will have to go back and forth under those. That's why I did the X in the center, so I can go back under it from this back side, catch it. Don't worry about that other tail. We'll use it later to tie off everything. Pull. Okay, keep going till it's in place. And then you will tie the two tails in the back. And there is one of our first. Isn't that pretty? I'm telling you, you better file your fingernails before you start this. But if I sit it down and you can look at it, it's much prettier than it. It's much prettier in person than looking at it on this. I've struggled to get it. And of course on the back, you can simply put hot glue a pin back. And that way you can put it on anything, not only wear it on knits, but you can wear it on a lot of other things. On the very back, let me suggest not to put the pin back right in the center where you think you'd put it. I'd put it towards what I'd call the top, a little more towards the top, because this medallion here is heavy, and if you put your pin back right behind it, it just kind of flops over and you don't see anything. So I'd put it up just a little bit higher so that it will hold the medallion up. That was just a little tip. That was something I found out that I did wrong. And once I got over that, what do you think of that? Okay, let's do a second quick. I need to go somewhere in a hurry. This time we're going to simply crochet. And you've seen this, and I'm sure you probably have already done it, but I'll just do it for those. I'm sure there's someone in the world who hadn't done this, so I'll just do it for them. So I pull out a couple of yards, and this time I'm using Starbella, another color. Just any of this same, you know, the ruffly scarf yarn. Whatever you have on hand. Like I say, I buy it whenever it's on sale. Right now they're trying to give it away. So anyway, so this is a pretty color. So what I'm going to do, I pull out a couple of yards, and now I'm just going to take about, I don't know, 14, 15 inches and pull it back just like this so that I have a nice loop on one end. All right, now I'm going to take that and make a knot somewhere near the end here. I'm going to make my knot about right there. So be sure to pull both of those strands through. Okay, now don't pull it real tight yet. Just pull. We'll come back and take care of that, don't worry. Okay, now I have this loop on one end, a knot. Now this is where you're going to need a large crochet hook. And I think this is a P. I just grabbed up one, whatever large hook you have. So I'm going to stick it right up under that knot, and I'm just going to start to crochet just like this. Pull it through. Now you can take that little See that little extra tail there? Now you can pull on it to tighten it up. Okay, but not before you put your hook in there. You need to get your hook in there first. Okay, now we're just going to do large, and some people even do finger crochet right on something this large. Oh, look how pretty this looks with the gold running through it. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? And what you want to do is just make a very long chain. I'm talking about, depending on how many times you want to wrap it around your neck. And we're just going to continue long. And but keep the crocheting very loose. Don't pull it. I'm not pulling it at all or making it tight. So roll out more yarn. Just keep on. This is what you can do when you have maybe a color you didn't like. When you got it home, you think, man, it's too much trouble to go back and try to take it back. Well, just sit and do this with it. You'll be able to use it one day. Just when you think you don't have any use for it, you will. So, oh yeah, I got that little crocheted scarf. And here we go. See, just keeping it loose, not pulling it tight at all. Isn't that pretty? Okay. And keep going. And I'll see you back after I do. I'd say if you want to wrap it around your neck, you can kind of do it around one time to see how long. But I'm talking about feet. I'm talking about 2 or 3, like 4 or 5 feet. Go big. All right, see you back in a minute. Continue to crochet. Okay, I'm back and I'm done about, I think I've got about 6 feet. Well, I know I have at least 5.5 feet. So you get it, and I still have quite a bit left. So see, I'll be able to use this on in the future if I need something quick and easy. All right, so we're getting close to where you want to end it. But like I said, go big, because you can wrap this around your neck so many times. It's so pretty. So now there's the beginning. I just wanted to get a loop about the same size. So as I know that I'm getting to the end, or where I want to stop, I just bring a loop up to about the same as what I had there. Now, with the last, I got my crochet hook in the last loop. I just want to stop it. So instead of cutting anything, I go through and pull both those strands. Take your time, may be tough, and try to get them through that loop. Just pull both strands through the loop and all the way through. And then we'll take our scissors, we'll cut, and then we are going to, you can knot it just to give it that extra little knot right there, right where you pull the 2 strands. Put it nice and tight. We'll weave all that in at the end. But now I have a loop where I started and a loop where I ended my my rope necklace. Okay, so now we'll simply go through, make sure that these knots are good and tight, and you can simply take a smaller crochet hook. I think I'm going to need a smaller one to weave this in, and just weave it in, back up through. If you have a large yarn needle, you can just take your needle and do it. I don't have one. I don't think this is large enough for this, but I have some plastic ones that are really large. And so you would weave that back up into, this one is nice and tight. Make sure you pull it, close the knot off, and then weave this excess, just weave it back in here. A smaller crochet hook or with a really large plastic yarn needle. Okay. Now to get to the fun part is, all right, make sure you're on the front of your chain, you know, not the bumpy side, but you know, the front. Look at it good before. Now I'm going to add some charms right here. We're going to take, now you can easily just do this with a plain needle and thread. And you're just going to add your charms. Let me turn on this side. Make sure you're on the front of the chain, not on the back of the bumpy side. And I have two really pretty charms here. You see that? And you're just going to see right through that loop. Right through the loop, you're just going to take a needle and thread and just sew those two together. See? Let me get my needle and thread. Okay. I just got a smaller crochet hook and I weaved all those loose ends right back into my chain. I took the needle and thread. First of all, I cut the loop that was at the very bottom, so now I have two like tassels. Remember, there was a loop right here. I just took the scissors and snipped those on both sides. See, just snip those. Now right here in between those two little tassels, I'm taking my needle and thread and I'm just going up, and I'm just going to go ahead and make sure everything is secure there. And then I'll pick up one of my little charms and I am going to put it on the needle and start sewing it in also. And I'm not doing anything, any kind of special sewing. I'm just going to make sure your charm hopefully turns to the front. And you just go back and forth in the charm, back into the yarn, again into the charm, hold right there, back, you know, like beginner sewing, nothing special. You just want to make sure, oops, don't get that tangle up in there, don't do that, and pull it. And once you know it's good and secure, then you can just simply, I'll go back through it on the back side, just give yourself, you know, just turn over and bury it, weave it in, knot it. See, so that you know that nothing's going to come loose and you're not going to lose your charm. Okay, well, take the scissors. I'm telling you, the hardest thing, like I say, is just having it snag on your fingers, on your fingernails. So for those who are able to do those scarves, that's wonderful. Okay, so now here's my first one, and here's my charm. And you can see, you have to just bring the charm up to the front. It will fall into the back. There you go. There's my charm. And of course I can cut this. If this is too long, I can always cut that, the little fringe part. Okay, make sure I'm on the front on this side of my chain. And I take my needle kind of right here at the knot. Go through a couple of times. Just to secure it before I put my charm on. Now I'm going to go through the charm hole and put that on right where I want it, and just sew it just like this. Very simple sewing, nothing. You just want to connect the charm and then go to the back and secure it and bury it. Take a few back stitches and that should be enough. Snip off and you'll have a charm. Pull the charm to the front so it will pop out. Now here's our end. Like I said, we can cut our fringe just as you would normally cut fringe to even it up. See, one side seems to be a little longer. I can lay it down here and I can just snip off anything that's a little too long. Take that out of the way. Now all you have to do is just loop it around your neck as many times as you like and let your charms and let your fringe hang down. And that's how I do a quick and simple braided embellishment with a pretty charm. Isn't that pretty? Well, this is just the first in my little extra tutorials. I'll try to throw in every once in a while as I go along. I wanted to get this one done since you've been so great about the sweaters, and I just want you to see how, you just add a few touches if you need to. You're going to get so many compliments. So, I hope you enjoyed this. And till next time, from Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. See you!